Patty wins a TTC!
They say that victory tames the beast that's inside of you. It's not what you win, but what you do after a win that defines a champion. And now a 3-month journey has come to its end. The truth is, we were challenged. The truth is, we were pushed. The truth is, we took on everything that was thrown at us. But despite all of it, the truth is, we haven't won anything yet.
All right. We have not won anything yet. Frank, say hi to the audience. Let's make sure the audio is working here. Frank?
My audio is working.
Hello, Frank. Frank is realizing that his audio is not working. Can you hear me, Frank? He'll figure it out. There he is. Now we got him. What's up, buddy? Oh, Frank, you're listening to me through the stream. You need to listen to me. You need to listen to me through Discord, or you're going to be on a big delay.
They'll figure it out. There he is. Now we got him. What's up, buddy?
I'm gonna have to. For some reason, it's not.
Listening to. You need to listen to me through Discord, or you're going to be on a big delay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Kill the stream, Frank, because you can watch through. I've got the overlay is streaming through the Discord channel. You don't need the stream up.
You're not popping up. I mean, I'm clicking on you.
At least I was streaming. Oh, I got you.
You're not coming
Hold on. I got you.
I've got the overlay is streaming through the Discord channel.
There we go.
Okay, now.
Yeah, so go ahead and kill the stream because it's playing in the background.
Got it.
All right, you can hear me okay?
We're good.
All right, we're here.
It wasn't showing up.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I forgot. I turned the stream off and back on, so you should be able to see it. You can hear me? Yes? We're good? All right.
Cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me. You should be able to hear me through Discord.
All right, you can hear me okay?
We're good.
All right, we're here.
It wasn't showing up.
Sorry about that. I forgot. I turned the stream off and back on, so you should be able to see it. You can hear me? Yes? We're good? All right.
Cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me. You should be able to hear me
Frank.
through Discord.
All right, we'll give Frank a second here. He will we just got to get his audio set so he can hear me. I'll call Frank. We'll call Frank. We'll get this right. We'll get him in here.
Okay, tell me what to do.
You need to go to your settings in Discord. Your click the little settings icon at the bottom and go to voice and video.
Okay.
And make sure that the output for your settings is going to the right place. What's your output device set to?
User settings.
user settings and then click voice and video on the left. I'm guessing when you did your update, it got borked.
Yeah, that's probably what. Output volume 100%, voice activity,
No, what is the output channel set to?
output device, just says default.
What are the options?
There are no, there's no options. Input device, mic.
Default is literally the only option.
Right. It says output device default. Sad.
Yeah, because you should be getting your that Discord volume should be going out through your speakers, no problem. I mean,
Okay, hold on. Yeah, my speakers are showing up. I'm just gonna have to reboot.
well, or we can just keep the call up and you can hear me that way. Because we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I guess I need my headphones. Let me get my headphones and then I'll just keep the call up.
All right. We'll get it working. How is everybody? Good morning. It is Friday. We put a nice long 12-hour session in yesterday and got shredded pretty good. I'll talk a little bit more about this when we get Frank connected here. Apologies. We had a new Discord update today, and it seems to have reset some of the sound settings we went through and got all perfected.
Man. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you perfectly.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm ready then. I got my post-workout.
All right. Sorry about all that. Let's go. All good. We'll sort it out before next time. So you guys cannot hear Frank. Oh yeah, because I muted him. You guys can hear Frank now. Sorry. They're good, Frank. So here's what I'm seeing. This is kind of one of the I have a couple goals for today. Obviously, we're gonna study and we're gonna grow and learn from each other and look at spots and whatever. That goes without saying. But I want you guys to look at the difference between my ACR graph and my BOL graph, right? So ACR is one of the harder sites that's US facing. BOL and Ignition are one of the softer sites. But like my graph on ACR has been super consistent. And looks really, really strong. My cache rate's really strong. My ROI is really strong. And my BOL graph is just like sled hill. Now, there's a couple things here. This is only this isn't even 200 tournaments. So sample size is really small. This 100% could be variance. When I take a look at my stats over on BOL for the year, we're running 7 big blinds per 100 under expectation. So there is, again, small sample size, but there is some signs that we're running poorly. But just because we see that we're running poorly and like the graph says, oh, we're not doing well, I don't want to assume that it's just variance. I want to dig in and try and figure out like, okay, am I playing differently on this site? Are the opponents playing differently? Are there adjustments that I need to make? And just kind of dig into all that and kind of try and figure out like what's going on. And if I get through this and we go through these hands and we're like, okay, we're doing a bunch of good things, this just hasn't worked yet, then we just chuck on. But hopefully we find some things that we're like, oh, this needs to change. and it has a good impact on what I do moving forward. And I mean, Ryan always is a big advocate. He's like, when you go through industries, you're always going to find mistakes, but there's a huge difference between small mistakes and big mistakes, right? Small mistakes are we mess up our sizing, or maybe we're playing too many tables and we miss a small C bet. Big mistakes are like really bad, using really bad ranges, like going way out of our ranges, 3-betting way out of line, trying to bluff opponents that are never going to fold in really bad spots, things that cost us lots of chips, and are easily avoidable. So I pulled up, Frank, I've got a hand history review from Ignition, and I've got a hand history review from BOL. We'll kind of see how much time we have to go through things.
Right.
But I really just kind of want to go through and just check everything and just see what we can find. This will be a chance to go through some of the early game, mid game, late game, and just see what we see. And find out if we're making any terrible mistakes. So I have Poker Stove, I've got Range Trainer Pro. We got all the goodies here, man, that we can kind of dig through here and take a look. Wow, yeah, 3-bet, 4-bet, deuces. So
Okay, can you go back?
yeah.
Go back to the Jack 10. So, I without access, like I don't know what I would like to see what Range Trainer Pro says about the Jack 10 offsuit right there.
Yeah, it's a fold.
Dude,
This is a little too loose.
I don't play that hand. I was about to let you know. I just and I'm not saying that what I do is perfect or whatever, but suited, I play it. Unsuited, I don't play it. It's just what you're looking. What I have found is when I play that in early position, I'm just putting myself in a bad spot, bad situation.
Right.
And because when you get 3-bet, it's not a good hand to 4-bet or to check raise a flop with, because it's not suited.
Yeah, it looks like we can shave off.
Jackson unsuited, I would just open fold. I would just fold that hand.
We are going to want to be a little bit wider than theory, just because of how soft the table is, but this is not a little bit wider. This is pretty significant. Like a little bit wider would be like including these partial opens, king, queen, ace, jack, queen 9 suited, king 8 suited. And if we were going to expand, I'd probably throw in like the ace 3 and ace 2 suiteds and a lot of these suited connectors, not the stuff that are clearly.
I'm looking, is Jack 10 suited in there?
Oh yeah, Jack 10 suited,
Okay,
10-9 suited, yeah, like so, like
right.
Basically on a tougher table, we want to pull all these partial opens out. On a really soft table where we're playing weak players, we want to bring them in, and that's kind of how we can like expand or contract our range. So this is a hand I've been including, it looks like, on really soft tables, and I just need to kill this out and focus more on like 9-8 suited is a fine open here, 10-8 suited is a fine open here versus Jack 10 offsuit.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a little. Well, here's the thing: we're really deep. Okay.
Yeah.
How many bigs you got? 100. Yeah. So when you're deep like that, not having a connector that's not suited is it's just not as profitable. Like if we were short stacked or something.
Oh yeah, that changes everything.
I mean, but we're deep stacked, and you can't even really profit off of it as much as, I don't know. I just don't play it.
Yep, I like it. So we opened here, got defended by big blinds. This feels like a really good c-bet spot. Why?
Oh, you checked.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, like this just hits big blinds defending range. He's gonna have a whole bunch of 8x, 7x, 9-10, Jack 9. Like this is a fist pump c-bet. Not sure what happened there. Please don't fold. Okay, good. At least we check called, and then we hit pay dirt on the river. I'm usually going like really big here. What about you?
I mean, I'm one to get paid off by ace X.
Yeah,
or,
we're just
or king X, king. You know, it might have worked out that you checked the flop, but because you check the flop and they're betting the turn a huge percentage.
well.
So
If this was
I don't
like,
mind, I don't mind it. Honestly, I don't mind the flop check.
if this was
Just
like
be
a really
honest.
capable player, then this is part of my check back range where I'm like balancing and I need to protect my check back range. But against a random like recreational player in a tournament, we should probably just be c-betting this 100% because we're gonna get called by all kinds of things.
You want to get 2 streets of value.
Yeah,
Is that
and
what you're
like, well, that and like good players here, when they like a good player here, if they flop like Jack 9 suited with like let's say they have Jack 9 of hearts, they're gonna check raise this flop, right? And so when we bet, they check raise, it puts us in an awkward spot. Recreational players here with Jack 9 are just gonna peel, and we just want to get straight value from them. They're not gonna put us in awkward spots.
Honestly, c-betting the flop, no matter who you're against, is printing money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It
So
just it's
we can
not
be
that.
tricky. We can be tricky and make money on the turn, but
It's going to print money.
I don't know.
The problem is that what we don't want, here's what we don't want, right? If you're playing a really
Okay.
good player and you're c-betting this hand, then most of the time when we check back here, we have air. And it makes it very easy for really good players to exploit that. So we have to have some hands in our check back range that we protect that have some value to them so that we can't just check and get snap bet off the turn like, you know, religiously.
I like it. Now,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't even mind the check on the flop, but
Yeah.
so.
But in
I
this
like it. I
in this
like what you're
particular
saying.
tournament, it's just a c bet. It's a fist bump c bet. I'm pretty sure this is a fold. We'll double check it though, because I haven't checked a lot of. I haven't checked the really deep stacked. It's a small blind versus hijack. I haven't checked a lot of the really deep stacked overcalls yet. It's just not a place I've gotten to. 100 big blinds, small blind versus. So let's just take a look. Okay, so this is on the cusp. It's like 70%, 75%.
Fold or call. 75% call.
Yeah, 75% call, but it's a 3x instead of a 2x. And again, I just don't think we have to take these marginal spots. Yeah, that's an easy fold. 10-6 is a fold from the button. Queen 5 is a fold from the cutoff. This looks like a missed spot possibly, but I want to double check. Is the
No.
button cutoff hijack?
Yeah, check it. That's. I fold it. I
mean, again,
I love Jack 10. I love it, but I hate I hate it not suited. Jack 10 suited, I love. Not suited, I don't like it.
I'm in the wrong pack. Jack, 100 big blinds versus MP. I don't remember what. Okay, it goes hijack, MP2, and then MP. So, yeah. So this is interesting. This peel is almost identical. This is almost identical to the EP opening range. And this is something that Drew talked about that I think is really cool. Like, is like, if you can learn like this 14% range, right? This roughly 14, 15% range. Like, one of the mistakes people make is they try and learn the range for every situation. And it's like, you can do that, but honestly, there's a lot of situations that learn this range. So if you learn this range, if you're like, this is the 14% range, it doesn't have Jack 10, it doesn't have Queen Jack, it doesn't have King Jack, it doesn't have Ace 10, and like you memorize this range, then you can just memorize all the spots that use this range, right? And it's easier to do that than trying to memorize both the 100 big blind deep MP like flatting range, and then memorize the EP. Like, look, we just know 14%. So like, generally speaking, EP opens when we're really deep stacked. It's going to be most of our suited aces on a soft table. We can mix in our suited connectors. Pocket pairs down to about 5s. Ace jack off is the bottom. King queen off is the bottom. And then like this kind of suited like crescent moon, I call it, of like king 9, queen 10, 10 9, 10 8, right? And we can just memorize that range. And then once we know that range, it's like, okay, well, that's our EP opening range. That's our peeling range from middle position when we're really deep. And like we can just kind of start applying things to that spot and memorize it consistently. Yeah, so this is a fold. So that's good to know.
It's burned into my brain.
I mean, yeah. The more you do that, the better. All right, so we open the ace jack. Pretty good flop. Sizing, yeah, probably should be bigger here. Probably should be like 4 or 5 bigs. As played.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with Cordell the other day, is that when bet sizing, yes, we have standard bet sizes, but come on, we're playing no limit. There's certain situations you can bet bigger and bet smaller, and actually, I don't mind you betting smaller here. I mean,
well, I mean,
against the blinds, you know what I mean? I mean,
the argument for betting large here is
called...
just that, yeah, like, are they ever folding 9x here? Are they like they're gonna peel with all of their weaker pairs? And so,
right, but if you bet big, they're gonna fold the night. You want them to call with like a 9x or an 8x. Like 10-8 is a very playable hand.
But there's also draws out here. I mean, we do have the jack of spades in our hand, but like,
right. That's the only thing I was thinking.
The theory here with like these lower stakes, especially, the theory here is people are just stations. Like we talked about, like you even said it yesterday, like they just don't fold a pair. Right. So if they're never folding a pair, they're never folding a straight draw, they're never folding a flush draw, then like when we have top pair solid kicker, we just want to charge them. You know, if they've got 5-4 of spades here, whether you bet 2 or 6, they're calling. So we can upcharge and both do a good job of denying equity and
so you
do a good job of.
So you think that it was a mistake to bet small there?
Yeah, I think we should be going like 4 bigs here.
Also, Ludacris is at our table. Welcome, Ludacris.
Luda! Gonna get some of that cabbage. 2, 6, 4. So I'm noticing a little bit of autopilot for sure.
Oh yeah, go back to the ace jack. There's something weird about that.
What?
You went 2.5 there.
So like pre-flop, I this is something I probably need to get clarification on. Like we're supposed to upsize pre-flop with our value because again, people aren't paying attention. But I'm not sure what the cutoff is for value. So like we should definitely be like 3xing aces here. And so I think sometimes like with like my weaker value, I'll kind of like hedge. Like ace jack, I'm not really sure if this counts as value, so I go like 2.5. This is probably just fine to be a min. If it's a small mistake though to go 2.5, it's not terrible.
I don't. First off, I don't think it's a mistake, but I think it's great that like I think going up. Well, against tougher players, I'd say maybe raise bigger, but that's what live players love, the 2.5 as opposed to the online min raise. And I like to min raise, but I think you just get paid when you 2.5 with good hands.
Yeah, and we build a bigger pot, you know, so that we can like just punish people post flop, build bigger pots, have a better chance of stacking people. Yeah. This I'm fine with. King queen's definitely in our opening range. We don't need to go big here. We get peeled. Probably just checking this back and giving up. Like, the problem with like spots, like, I mean, the diamonds do come in, but like we're not in a spot where like c-betting this is like we're not scaring off an ace or a queen. We're just not, like, unless we go really big. And if you think about it, if we did have a flush, we'd be going really big to protect against full houses, and I just don't want to like go really big here to bluff. So yeah, we just gave up, and he's just got ace 10. He was never folding.
Right.
I love these
it's
guys that
great.
just never, they don't raise, they don't probe, they just check down and make our lives easier.
Lost the minimum.
10-5, that's a fold. Easy fold there, easy fold there, easy fold there. Okay, we got some ochos.
Sorry, I got
Yeah, so no, you're good.
dogs.
So open eights, early position, we get called. This is pretty much standard c-bet size. Okay, we take that down, so that's good.
I'm seeing everything looks good so far. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and again, we might not find a lot of things. I mean, I'm finding some small, like, autopilot or maybe just, like, too many table, like, but nothing major yet. So we might not find anything. This literally could just be variance. But I think the responsible thing to do is to see, is it variance?
Yes.
You know, like, dig in and see. And if it is variance, then we just have to trust the process and keep firing. But I don't want to be like, oh, here's 3 leaks that have leaked into my game, and keep firing with those leaks in, right? Like, this is just like leak check time. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a fold. We're just gonna go ahead and double check it though. Button cutoff, hijack, low jack. So MP2, big blind defend.
I think Jack 7 suited is as far down as we go right there. I think.
We can call most of the suiteds, I believe, from middle position. Early position is going to be close to that crescent moon again, but 100 big blinds versus MP2 open raise. Yeah, so this is like almost all the suiteds. But Jack 6 off is a clear fold. So this is, so here we go. This is similar to our button opening range. This is kind of close to our button opening range. So our actual button opening range goes down to like, it's all the aces. It goes down to king 5 and it includes the queen 8s. So this is like really close to our button opening range. But yeah, like pretty much a lot, like middle position and beyond, like there's really not any suited hands that we're going to not defend when we're deep. So, I remember this hand.
Okay.
This is one of the hands I'm sending into right. Well, because I don't like,
I want to see it.
I hate this spot. I hate this spot because we have 2 things that are competing here. We know players at this stake don't 3-bet light very often, right? So like if we were to look up a proper 3-bet range here, just to give you guys an idea, right? So we are, we'll call it 60 to 80 big blinds deep. So this is not what he's 3-betting because nobody 3-bets this except for really good players. Let's see, button. Wait, no, we don't need the verses. We need the single action. So this is button 60 effective. We'll look at 60 and 80 versus cutoff open raise. All right, so look at all these 3-bets, right? And a lot of it's partial frequency. And again, most people do more linear. But like he should have like a 12% 3-bet here. And if we check out the 80 big blinds, it gets more linear and it actually goes up to 14%, right? So we'll use the 80 as a guide because this is, I think, closer to what population tendency would do, right? But I mean, look at all of this here. How many people are 3-betting Jack 8 suited in this spot on the button, right? Most players aren't. Good players will. How many players are 3-betting King 6 suited here? Most players aren't. Really good players will. So when we see this 3-bet, like if this 3-bet is 14%, like let's just say we knew this is the button's 3-bet range, we could just happily 4-bet for value here, right?
Right. I was about to say, this is what I do. I'm like, I either 4-bet or fold this. I'm not calling.
And we do have some stats on this guy. 72 hands. He's got a 25-14-9 VPIP PFR 3-bet. So he does show like he's got a little bit more capability. But even good players, I don't know. Like only the elite players are going to be pushing 14% here. Most of them are going to be And this isn't going to be enough sample size, but most of them from the button are going to be about 8 or 9%.
You can even, I mean, this, I mean, if you shoved all in right here, I wouldn't be mad about it.
No, we're not shoving all in here. Don't do that, Frank. You don't want to do that because
I'm just telling you,
so
like,
there's two reasons. There's two reasons we shove all in for more than 20 bigs. Okay. Reason number one is overfolds, and reason number two is capped ranges. Those are the two main reasons we do that. The problem doing it this deep against uncapped ranges is you're just giving them insane reverse implied odds here. Because they're going to wake up with kings and aces and queens and jacks a percentage of the time. Now, if we were like 35, 40 big blinds deep, that's fine. This deep, it's going to be too much of a mistake. I like to do 4-bet.
That's exactly what you just did is exactly what I would do.
And they did fold.
Yeah, that is exactly what I would do. I was just thinking 14 bigs and you did 15 bigs. So that's what I would do is you played it perfect. So in my mind,
I'm not sure, Fish. I'm gonna send that hand into Ryan. I've got it tagged. 4-bets don't have to be as big, but that might have still been a little too small. We might need to go like 17 or 18 there because we're out of position. This guy not only 3-bets us, but he 3-bets us way too small. So this is like fist pump peel. I feel like we should probably call one here.
Oh man.
I mean, 3, 6, 7, 8, or diamond is our backdoor equity. Well, I mean, a 7's a set, but like 3, 6, 7, 8, or diamond are good cards for us.
Mm-hmm. It's a big,
but it is a big sizing.
Right, it's a sizing that he's trying to tell us I got something.
Yeah. So I guess I'm kind of fine either way.
Well, here's my thinking is just like you said, 3, 6, 7 diamond. Also, I mean, this is not. I mean, it's just this. We peeled for a reason. We didn't just peel to hit a 7 just because we got to put Rob D or whoever he is on a range of hands, and his range of hands does include 9-10 suited, but it also includes all the suited broadways, ace, ace king. Wow, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
huge.
We're not really
so many. We're still beating a lot of hands, and if you can count a bunch of hands that you beat, and we've got 90 bigs, then I call right here because Rob D's got 168 bigs, and they're going to 3-bet and C-bet a lot bigger range than.
So, Fish and Lake's asking about raising to see where we're at. Here's my rule of thumb, and this is another thing I should probably run by Ryan because I don't know if this is true or not. This is Rob instincts. I'm going to clarify and tag some certain things as my instincts in a situation. So a disclaimer, my instincts might not be correct, but generally speaking, if I'm going to check raise, I don't want to check raise a hand that I'm going to be mad to be blown off of. So like if I had Jack 10 of diamonds here, I wouldn't want to check raise because I don't want to check raise and then get jammed on and then have to fold my Jack 10 of diamonds. A hand like this, we could check raise, and if he comes over the top, we're like, okay, it's 7s and go. But my other rule of thumb generally is I generally won't try and check raise either to see where I'm at or bluff if I'm facing more than a 50% c-bet. Because this starts to get really pricey.
I have another rule of thumb you should have.
Okay.
And this is my answer to Fish, is that raising for information is not a reason to raise. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I never raised for information. It's
It's not a
there
good
would
enough
be
reason. We need more to go
there would
with
be
it.
there would be different reasons to raise. You know, we raise to fold out. Hands that have equity on us. We raise to fold out hands that might have us beat, or we raise for value, right? Or
Yeah.
we're not if we raise for information, then we'd be raising every hand.
It depends on the situation, Fish. Like, the problem with doing that to slow him down in like 3-bet pots is like all of his overpairs at these stakes are likely just going to get flicked in. No, LFC, this is a 3-bet pot. So we opened, he undersized 3-bet to 6x out of position, or 3x, 6 big blinds. We peeled, and then he went really chunky on the flop. So like I lean this. Of course, this is what happens when we peel, is we pick up a gut shot. And then, so there's a similar thought process for me here, Frank. Like, I don't want to, like, we have some showdown value. So like, let's say he bet ace, king, ace, queen, blah, blah, blah. And didn't, continue on the turn because like now he's just got ace high. We've got some showdown value against those hands. And while I want to deny equity on those hands, like, I kind of would rather check here and have a chance to hit a 6 or a 7 than like bet here and get raised off of it. So like,
yeah, you're more likely to hit an overcard on the river than you are to hit a 6 or a 7.
For sure.
So I mean, if we bet and get blown off, then we're probably beat anyways.
Yeah, but like, the only thing we're getting to fold here is gonna be like non-draw, like ace highs, right? Like, he's still not folding his flush draws. He's still not folding his overpairs. Like, he still has an uncapped range here. I'm not exactly sure like what percentage of his range is just gonna be total air here. But there's also a huge difference between denying equity on the flop and denying equity on the turn. If he's got ace queen offsuit here, we're only fading 6 outs.
I still bet it.
Here, you do?
Oh yeah.
What would you size?
Less than half pot. Well, maybe half pot. I mean,
I think there's arguments for both.
what's he checking here?
Aces,
9-8.
kings, queens, jacks.
Right.
Probably not 10s. He could potentially check ace 9. I mean, remember, he's out of position and this board just got wetter. This is a card for us. So a lot of his showdown value has to slow down.
But we're just going for showdown now.
Well, it's not just going for showdown.
Any 8, any 9 beats us, of course.
We've got a free roll to a 7 or a 6. The hands that like we're beating right now, don't have a lot of outs. Does that make sense?
Which are,
so like, and we have position.
up.
We have position too, which is really, really huge. So this is an interesting
and
spot.
plus also, if we bet and villain has jack 10, I mean, they're gonna raise us. So I guess it is a good play.
I mean, it's close, like, because Fish and like the fact that this is a 3-bet pot changes some things, right? Because predominantly, he should have a linear and condensed range here. That is uncapped, and so there's a lot of like, so let's just say his 3-bet percentage here is like 12%. Let me pull up Stove.
I love this hand, by the way.
Right, like, so like we're looking at something like this, maybe
something I'd like to work on,
Like this is kind of like what we're expecting to see here. It might even be a little bit tighter. Like it might be something like this, right? Maybe something even like this, depending on the opponent. So like when it's when it's uncapped and condensed like this, there's a lot of these overpairs. There's going to be a decent amount of flush draws. He doesn't have a lot of the straight draws here, but like it's kind of a situation where most of his value hands beat us and most of his air doesn't have a lot of outs on the river. So I don't expect to be in a spot where like the river, like even though there's a lot of overcards that are quote bad for us from a like looks scary perspective, if we're ahead, he probably only has 6 outs here. And I don't see him if he has ace queen, I don't see a jack hitting the river and him turning that into a bluff. Maybe if a king hits the river and he has ace queen, or a queen hits the river and he has ace king, he turns it into the bluff. But even then, like I think a lot of those cards are just going to check down. So
so we're checking through and calling
I think I'm checking through and
river.
folding river, but it kind of depends. So and see, I elected to go for the bet. Like I can see arguments for both here. I really can.
You bet too small.
Well, the advantage of this bet,
way too small. I would
here's
never fold if I were him.
No, this isn't to get him to fold. What this bet does, is very, very few opponents will call a bet out of position on the turn and then donk lead river. This is just buying the river, because when I do this,
okay,
he checks
buying the river.
Yeah, he checks 100% of rivers. And then we just get the showdown. And look at that.
He's got jacks.
So yeah, like,
well, that's one of the hands we put in his range.
I think we kind of lost the min. I don't know. Like, I mean, if we check, I guess not. I guess if we check behind, he bets river and we fold and we save 5 bigs. But
that's actually one of the worst cards to get hit on the river. And
yeah,
and like get any value. He would never get value off of us.
Open and get ripped. Open and get ripped.
Wow,
let's check this. I'm pretty sure this is a fold, but I want to double check it.
I think it's a fold too, but I'm glad we're checking this stuff because
I just haven't dove much into the overcalling and squeezing, so I like.
So we're checking the sevens in the future.
I think there's I'll ask about it. I think there's multiple ways to go about it.
To me, it's a very interesting hand to me because we do have the 7 of diamonds and the 7 of spades.
All right, hold on a second. Let me make sure that one's tagged. And then what was this hand? Ace 4, and this is hijack and MP. 60 big blinds, hijack, and MP and hijack. Yeah, this is a fold.
Yeah, I was about to say I fold that, but I think we found out that I need to work on
ace
calling
8 off. So this ace 8 off is a really significant shelf in a lot of ranges. So any of these ranges where we know we're not calling all of our offsuit aces, it's usually like ace 8 off at the lowest. If we're calling beyond ace 8 off, it's usually almost all aces. There's very few places where we're calling down to like ace 4 but not ace deuce, or ace 5 but not ace deuce.
So happy to see this. Okay, let me tell you why I'm so happy to see. I call every ace suited in that spot.
Suited is fine. You can go all day long with the suited.
Right, and seeing this range right here makes me happy that I've been doing it right.
Yeah, and again, so this just like continues, like anytime there's a raise and a call and it's like middle position or later, we just know these suiteds are calls. Like it's just like really easy to internalize.
Go back to that to that screen again. I'm gonna see. There's a shove
Oh.
in there. I think it's Ace Jack suited.
Oh, Queen Jack suited for 60 big blinds.
No,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Then there's an Ace Jack suited up there.
Well, Ace Queen. So it's
For a shove.
basically a full
Oh, is it
frequency
Ace Queen?
shove with Queen Jack suited, and then you're balancing it with Jacks, Ace King off, and Ace Queen suited off.
Very interesting.
But this is theory. Like, we don't like unless you're literally playing in like the if you're playing in
The
like
super
the
high roller
100K
bowl?
buy-in super high roller bowl, and you've got like Brendan Kenny and like you know, Brandon
Rob,
Adams and like
stop.
all those guys at the table. We're not
Stop.
shoving
You're
60.
killing me because I love to shove that. I love to shove right there. Like I'm just maybe I'm just
Frank,
too.
no
that's me, I'm
shoves. Yeah, I'm giving you a rule for 2021. No shoves
Okay.
above 35 big blinds.
Okay, yeah,
Till we get to dig into it more.
I love it. Oh, what happened there?
Well, just a
It
limp
was
pop.
limped around. And
Yeah, we're just happy to set mine.
What? I think we
So
should.
I don't want to raise here
What?
because this could be one of these like, oh god, he says I have to limp under the gun and trap you.
No,
Guys,
I never worry about that.
but the SPR is perfect for him to have some 4-bet shoves that don't even necessarily include aces, and I just don't want to like raise fold here. Like we also have a 60 big blind effective stack in the big blind that we can stack off against. And the other thing is, like, let's say he has aces or queens or kings, like he can raise to 3 or 4 big blinds, and we can still call him and stack him when we hit a 7 on the flop. But if we raise and either of these guys raise, we have to fold.
Okay, so I hope I'm not making a huge mistake by telling you this, but we cannot be afraid of monsters under the bed.
It's not afraid of monsters under the bed. It's not being able to see a flop.
Usually, okay. Usually when people are limping, they're limping with hands that they just can't raise with. You're not sitting. Has this table been aggro, like super aggro, the whole time you've been playing at it?
We've
If it
gotten 3-bet
hasn't-
a couple times. Yeah. We've gotten
if
pot,
it
but
hasn't, then Sparkles 69 is probably not limping with aces. But even if they are, I think we got a raise right here because we want to squeeze out the big blind who has
but why do we want to
covered.
squeeze out the big blind?
Because they have us. We want to win with pocket sevens. We want to get heads up with Sparkle 69, who has. Okay, let's just say that they don't have aces, and let's say they have another range of hands. Let's say they have.
Oh, this
anything
is
but
this
aces
is
that
almost
they're
for
gonna- that they're gonna
surely
limp
a
shove.
25% range that includes aces, right? Aces is a very small percentage of this
Right.
range.
Okay, right.
But-
It's a very small percentage, but here's the thing. This is why we want to squeeze out the big blind so we can actually rep a good hand on the flop and bet the flop and even bet the turn. And even if Sparkle 69 has eights, we can outplay them. And if the big blind has Queen 10 or Queen 9, and we just let them see a flop and the board comes out Queen high, we just got beat by the big blind who we just kept in there.
Yeah, but
Does
see,
that make
that is
sense to
coming.
you?
It does, but that's coming. That's like, that's where I came from when I was in like Assassinato's camp, right? Which is like get heads up and then punish people heads up.
Well, no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is okay.
Like we
so
definitely want the big blind in this hand.
I play with a lot of people that just want to see a flop to make a hand, right?
Sure,
And we're just letting the big blind make a hand for free.
but we want him
that's
to make a
player has
hand. Like when we
position
hit
on
a 7, we want him to make a hand. Like I want
We're
him to
only gonna
have like
hit a
Jack
7.
5
We're not
suited
at-
here, and the flop comes like Jack 7 3, and I take his stack. Because most of
Okay.
these players are just going to overplay their pairs.
That's probably not going to happen, though. We're probably
Well, it's not going to happen frequently. But like,
set farming is not a profitable play right here.
why? We need 13 to 1 implied odds. We have 60 if it's a limp.
No, yeah, we have plenty of implied odds, but like, all right, well,
I'm
I'll go
just
with
telling,
what
like,
you're saying.
this is
I
what
go with what you're saying. I just don't like limping in with, hope is not a poker strategy for me. You know what I mean?
Well,
Am I
it's
making
not.
any sense?
It's not a hope thing. It's just when we're on a table with weaker players, right? And also, I think this hand plays differently if we're on the button, like button versus out of position, right? Like we're in a spot where we have a guy that can limp rejam, and his limp rejam doesn't have to be aces. His limp rejam can be all pocket pairs. His limp rejam can be basically what Drew talks about, post flop anxiety, like any hands where he's like, I don't want to play. Like he could have like ace 10 suited here and just be like, I raise, and he's like, oh God, like I'm just gonna stick it in. Like he doesn't have to have aces here to limp rejam. But like,
I guess this is a camp I come from, and that camp is we're just not limping small blind. Like raising the small blind is just something I've always done. I'm either folding or raising it a lot of times.
Raising this is not a mistake. It's not unprofitable either. I think both strategies are going to be profitable.
Right. But by limping, we're just saying we're giving it a chance to win a big pot. Is that what's going on?
Because if we can, we're going to hit a set here 1 in 8 times, right? And then in those 1 in 8 times, I don't know exactly. I mean, we'd have to do some math, but somewhere around 35-40% of the time, they're going to hit something. So you're talking about 1 in 12, 1 in 15 times we have a chance to stack these guys. Stacking these guys is huge for us in the early stages. I mean, we could stack this queens guy and have 120 big blinds, right? It's costing us a half a big blind to have that opportunity. So this needs to work 1 out of every 120 times to break even, and we're gonna probably do that every 1 out of 20 or 25. So this is profitable. Raising the 7s is profitable because we're gonna put pressure on this guy. We're gonna fold this guy out. There's dead money in the pot. We can take down 2.85 bigs. We can outplay them post flop, whatever. So both strategies are going to be profitable. I think that raising here is going to be more consistently profitable, but probably less chip EV overall because we're going to win a lot more. We're going to win more small pots this way. So we're going to win more often, but we're going to win smaller pots. When we limp, we're going to win less often, but we're going to win bigger pots when we win. Is kind of how I would look at it. I would say this is close enough that if like you or anybody else in chat is more comfortable limping or more comfortable raising, I wouldn't advise against one or the other. I'm just trying to like, that's my mentality here is I'm playing bad players and I want to try and maximize my implied odds. Now let's say, that this is a bad player and this is Ape Styles. I'm raising here 1,000% of the time. 1,000% of the time.
Because I want nut advantage right here.
You want nut advantage. You want to push the good player out of the pot. You want to isolate against the weak player, right?
Right.
So we 100% want to raise in that spot. But if I think this player is really bad, my general rule of thumb is if we have a really bad player in the big blind, we want to keep him in because we just want a chance to outplay him and take his stack when he overplays his hand. Or makes mistakes. When you raise, how many flops come higher than 7 and you're out of position? Oh, a fair amount, right? But if we raise and we have the lead, it just comes back to being able to c-bet and people not defending c-bets enough. So
right, if we're raising, then we've got,
we're gonna c-bet like 90% of flops. It's gonna be like an absurdly high c-bet percentage. Checks around and like the worst card on the turn, and then see, there we go. And we just go big, and they just both snap fold. So definitely, probably a capped range there. After all right, Jack 6 folds. Are you 3-betting or flatting this?
I'm 3-betting.
All right, this is 60 cutoff versus MP2. I feel like this is going to be a peel, but I don't hate 3-betting it as a exploitative strat. Okay, cool. So all these are partial frequencies, so that's fine. And do you what range is this, Frank? Do you recognize this range? It's there.
Yes,
It's
I
same
do.
range, same range. This is like the same range we keep running into here with this no Jack 10, no Queen Jack. Like
I
this
like
shelf is
the-
gone.
I
The
li-
little crescent moon, like
I like the ace 5 suited. I
yeah.
like to raise that.
So all these are
3-bet
partial
that.
frequencies. So this is fine as a
We-
3-bet.
I think it's a mistake not to 3-bet.
So this is where again, like Ryan's kind of thinking would be like we can do either here. If we have really good players here, we need to be more
Fold
likely
them
to
out.
3-bet and fold them out. If we have really, really bad, like let's say Rob D here was a guy that was like 50% VPIP, 10% PFR, 2% 3-bet. And he's just like seeing way too many flops and playing way too many hands. And you have a note on this guy that he can't fold top pair ever. Like you've seen him stack off for 100 bigs with top pair. We should never, like we should like 3-bet like 2% of our range here. Because we want this guy to see a flop and we just want to get 2 pair on his 1 pair or straight on his 1 pair because he's going to give us 60 bigs, right? You see what I'm saying? Extreme situation, obviously. But like when we have like a really, really bad player who is just going to like make terrible plays, we don't want to push them out. When we have really good players here, we 100% want to push them out. When it's just like we don't have a read either way, we can go either direction here.
That's just common. That's old school common sense, right there. You always want to fold out the good players and keep in the bad players.
Yeah.
Just because their ranges are just.
I don't love this flop, but again, we're just kind of like, so there's good and bad to this flop. This flop, we don't have range advantage on. I mean, we are uncapped, so we have our overpairs, but like we don't have a lot of 5s, 4s, and 2s in our range. What I do love about this flop is literally every card on the turn is a scare card. So like this is like a great double barrel. Like even though I think my flop c-bet success in this spot's going to be really low, my turn c-bet success is going to be really high. Because yeah, you get a card like this Jack, and like if he has like ace 5, ace 4, 5, 6, like those hands, like it puts additional pressure on. And then I should be barreling this river because this puts maximum pressure on those second and third pairs. If he has like pocket 6s, pocket 7s here, this is an old assassinable concept. Like when you get that second middling card that's 9 or higher, this is a good triple barrel card. Oh, dang, I did go for it. Oh, let's go. I like it. I like it.
I was about to say, I guess this is how bad I am. I was gonna say just like 120% pot. I mean,
Well, so
I am just too. I'm so aggro, and this is the problem I have in. I don't know.
but like, here's how you internalize it. What are we trying?
I've played recently. Is
What are you trying to get him to fold here?
I'm just pulling the trigger on this dude.
Right, but like,
Hey,
what
man.
is the best hand you're trying to get him to fold when we decide to bluff river here? Like a 5, 6s,
I'm
a 7s.
I'm trying to fold out somebody that's sticky.
Right, but like we're never trying to.
But what's probably happened here, because you did small bet on the flop, small bet on the turn, is they're calling with 6x, 3x. They're probably calling with gut shots or overs or whatever, with just about anything.
So like let's say he
uh,
has 5-6 on the river here, right? If he's folding he's folding 5-6 to 125% pot, he's folding 5-6 to 2/3 pot.
Right.
Like you're just
Maybe.
wasting extra chips. And if he's calling,
Maybe.
if he's calling 2/3, he's probably calling the overbet. The other thing is, like, what would you do here with Jack 10 or Ace Jack, or like if we have like a value hand here, we're not going 125% pot, because what are we hoping to get call us? Like it doesn't make sense for us to have a value hand here that would go 125%.
That is actually so here's something crazy. It's like overbetting the pot is with a hand like Ace Jack or Jack 10 or some type of value hand, or Ace 3 for a wheel, or 3
Ace 3 is probably
But
the
anyways,
only hand I would overbet pot for value here. Because
right.
because we're not blocking, like the problem with betting Jack 10 or Ace Jack for like over pot bet value here is we're blocking the cards we want our opponents to have. Like we're not betting Jack 10 and hoping to get called by Ace 5. But when we have Ace 3, we're not really blocking the Jacks and 10s, so he can have Jack 10, he can have King Jack, he can have Queen Jack, like he can have all of those top pairs. And so like Ace 3 makes sense to do it, but like if we have like Jack 10 suited here and we've rivered 2 pair, what are we hoping to get called by, right? Like we kind of block the top end of the board. So like Jack 10 or a set of jacks, like we're just not going to go 125% pot here. We're going to go like 40 to 60%. Like that's going to be what our value bets are with like top 2 pair or top pair, top kicker. And so in those spots,
we're never betting like 16 bigs.
Not with,
like that.
I mean, like, because again, just think about your opponent's range. Like, if you have Jack 10 here and you go 16 bigs, you're going to get called by sets. You're going to get called by Ace 3. You're going to get called by 3 6.
Range.
Right. All the top of their range is going to call and value on us. What hands do we beat that's calling 16 bigs here? Maybe 4-5, right? Maybe they have 4-5 suited. Maybe they're really bad and they have 2-4 suited. Maybe they have Ace Jack or King Jack, but again, we block it, right? They don't have any overpairs here. Like, there's just not a lot of hands that can call us. So what ends up happening is we bet really big. We get called a really small percentage of the time, but most of the time we get called, we're beat. So that bet doesn't really do a lot, right? It's very, very different when our value doesn't block the value we want them to have. So hands like Ace 3, hands like 2s, 4s, and 5s, like if we had sets of 2s, 4s, and like those hands, I could see us maybe going a little bit bigger on. But
so, the way this hand played, I mean, they have a hand very identical to ours. I mean, they'd have to. I mean,
well, they could have like they could be sticky with Ace 4 or Ace 5. And this is the concept Assassino talks about, right? Like, so we bet here, we get called. Turn is a scare card. Probably could have sized up here, honestly. But we bet again, we get called. The reason that this river card can be bluffed is because he still has all of his 5x here. With what we size on the turn, he still has 4x. Like, he's got Ace 4, King 4 suited, that type of stuff. He still has Ace Deuce suited here. He's got all those weaker pairs. And this 10 is a card that's better for our range than his calling range. And so this 10 just puts added pressure on those hands. And there's a lot of players that'll call 1 over, but they won't call 2, right? So a lot of players, when he has Ace 5,
we're bluffing. So we're never betting pot. We're only betting 2/3 pot.
I just don't think I have enough over pot value bets here for that bet to make sense. Like, I honestly think we go over pot here. So it's 2 things. When we go over pot here, it looks like we're trying to bluff. Like, we kind of look like we're bluffing.
And then on here, it looks like we're trying to get value.
It looks like we're trying to get value. And again, I just think anything that folds to 16 is folding to 10.
Okay. No, yeah, I mean, the way when you say it like that, I mean, it sounds.
So sounds
good.
I mean, I feel like I sound like Matt Savage, or not Matt. Who was the guy at the World Series with the You know what I'm talking about, the
Oh, no.
controversy where he's like, if you're calling this, you're
know
calling
yes, I know him personally, and I thought that was the worst.
It was terrible. So I hate
It's
saying it because it sounds just like that.
terrible.
If you're calling 6, you're calling 10. No, but like
If you're
seriously,
calling,
that's
if you're calling 17, you're calling 22, and that's huge in
yeah.
that spot.
San Marino or whatever his name was that was in the hand. Like it was
No,
terrible. It was a
yeah,
terrible ruling.
it's
But
Jack Effel's the guy.
Jack Eiffel, yeah, that's what I was
Jack-
thinking of.
yeah, Jack Effel's the guy that said that, and he shouldn't have said that. Yes, the rule is it has to stand because that's well, that is a WSOP TDA rule.
Right.
All right. But he didn't have to say what he said.
Yeah. No, it was terribly handled.
He
So
was terrible.
we just want to find the most minimum size bet that will accomplish what we want to accomplish, and that's why I kind of lean 10. So here, I think this is pretty easy limped pot. I'm not sure about this lead. So this is another one I wanted to tag and send to Ryan. Let me see if I did this. Okay. If this is a normal raised pot, raise, we call, we're just going to check here and not lead.
Check 100%.
Because they're going to c-bet this board a large percentage of the time, and then we get to check raise, right?
Right.
When it's a limped pot, I don't know if it changes that dynamic. I don't know if we feel like they're much less likely to continue here when they limp. And so because I wasn't sure, I erred on the side of leading here. And then we face this raise. We're obviously not folding ever. So we peel. Turn card is a 10. I think we're just kind of check calling down here. Like, what are your thoughts here on this turn?
I mean, we're not folding unless he just jams it on.
But we're not like ever leading again here. Like when we lead and we get raised and we call like.
Yeah, right. We're not donking twice.
Yeah.
Because we know. I mean. And they would definitely.
he goes 6.25 on the turn, and it gives us the 3x here on the river. I think we just call down, and same hands.
I mean, so this.
We've seen a couple hands from this guy. Like it's pretty obvious he's
my gosh.
Yeah, look at this VPIP 44.54. This is just a massive passive player.
Okay, right. So
let me actually just leave this up. We can put these where.
I think check raising anywhere in this hand would be fine.
Yeah.
Because we're never folding, and we want to try and beat Jack anything, and then when they bet small on the river there, maybe we could. I don't think we ever check raise. I think we just have to call. But
yeah, I think we just got a happy call at that point. But yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
I'm just wondering if there's any spot where we could have check raised there. Probably not. It's for someone to raise us right there on that flop is pretty strong. I think, very few people raise Queen Jack there against us.
Yeah, this is a defend. He goes really chunky. Just get out of the way. Yeah, I'm fine with this. We get raised. This is close to me. I think I lean fold. Like, if all three of these guys were really deep, maybe we could. I mean, we do have a backdoor nut flush draw. We do have a wheel draw. We have an over, but like we have crappy position here, and this guy's short stacked. So I just think it's just. Oh God, I don't think I like this call. I don't like if we were all the same stack depth. I like this call. I don't like this call with a short stack involved, because like let's say we call here and the turn is the 7 of spades. Now what? Right? Now this guy goes all in and we just have to vomit call.
Right. I mean, yeah, we raise pre-flop. I mean, and we're c-betting. Is there ever? Where are we? Are we the button or are we small blind? That's what I can't tell on this screen.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those weird. We're button. Actually,
Okay.
no, we're small blind. We're neither. We're cutoff. Sorry.
We're cut off, and then the button smooth calls,
Yeah,
and so
and the big blind
okay,
defense.
so we're in the middle. So this is one of those spots where I like checking the flop. Maybe I do that too. I might do that too much.
Yeah, you should be c-betting here for sure.
Honestly, but I don't.
And here's
my
why we need to
c-bet-
c-bet here is because we just want that we're actually like setting. I mean, I'm not the players are bad enough. We're gonna get 2 folds here percentage of the time and take down a really sick pot. So c-betting here is gonna print money when we use small sizing in and of itself. But on top of that, we have a lot of backdoor equity and implied odds here, like long term, that we get to set the price on. When you check here, you're almost inevitably gonna face a 3 to 4 big blind probe from one of these 2 players. And it's gonna make the price a lot more expensive. So I like a hand like this in this spot, like this is, it's not close for me. Like this is just 100%. Like we're c-betting this.
and then we have to fold the turn. I mean, then we. Have
I
to
think we have to fold this.
when they
I think we have to
raise.
fold here because of this guy's stack depth. I think we 100% have to fold here because if he has 60 bigs, there's a lot of turn cards that could slow him down. That at 60 bigs, that at 25 bigs, he'll just rip it in, right? So like, let's say he had 10-8 offsuit here, right? If he has 10-8 offsuit here and the turn is a 7 of spades, at 25 bigs, he's like, I got top pair, let's go, flick it in. At 60 bigs, he's like, shit, there's 2 flush draws out there and I have weak top pair. This is live, drilled it. You see what I'm saying? Like, he has to slow down. He can't just like flick his 10 in. He can flick a lot of hands here on the turn, so that we just can't call this.
So why? So why are you? What was your reasoning for calling there? Just to?
I think I just didn't see his stack depth.
Yeah.
I think I missed his stack depth. Yeah, this is a fold. So that's a small. Again, it's a smallish mistake. It's a little bit of a bigger one. Open the jack 6. Get called 3 ways. This is a very happy c-bet, and we get raised.
See, that's another spot I like checking, and
yeah, you're checking too much. So our goal
when I'm in the middle of 2 other players, I call the raise pre-flop, and I flop like almost no equity.
For sure, let's see.
I just like to check.
But your goal here, so there's 2 things. One, our c-bet flop success rate is 35%. So if we're going 25% on our c-bets a lot of the time, we only have to get it through 20% of the time to break even, and we're getting it through 35% of the time. We're just printing money. Right?
Well, right, in position, but we are.
But even out of position, like I could show you out of position c-bets. It doesn't change the success rate that often at these stakes.
Okay.
Because players are not raising enough. Like just in general, population tendency here doesn't raise enough. See ya, fish. So we just print money in these spots. But the other thing is, even when people call, we get to outplay them turn. And like a flop like this, you could be like, well, we're kind of out of position to this guy, and we don't really have. But at the same time, remember, we have a backdoor heart draw. We have 2 overs to the board, and if someone has a 6 here, a 7, 7, 9, just think about all the terrible cards for them on the turn, right? Like we get to barrel so many cards here. Basically any cards that don't complete a straight. So I'm probably not barreling a 10, but I'm barreling a jack here. I'm barreling an ace here on the turn. I'm barreling a heart. I'm barreling a king. I'm barreling a queen. Like that's a lot of cards that we get to double barrel. So if they're not defending enough on the flop and they're not defending enough on the turn, we're just printing money here by having a c-bet. And when they do raise, because they've got a monster, because that's pretty much the only time they ever raise, we're like, okay, you got it. It costs us 2 bigs.
Right.
But we risk 2 to win 8. Like this just doesn't have to get through very often. And when it does, I mean, that's 8 big blinds in our stack, you know? And like, this is just like what's going to happen a lot. We're just going to go really small, take down a spot.
what are we right here? Or low jack? Is that where we're at? Or are we right
Button
here?
cutoff hijack. Yeah, we're low jack.
Okay. This is one of those spots where I need to open up my my range because I don't raise king 10 off in the low jack.
I mean, we could check it. This was
No, I'm talking about pre-flop. Pre-flop, I fold.
right. No,
king
I'm
10
saying
off in
we.
the low
This
jack.
would probably be a good idea to just go ahead and check and make sure we're not too wide. But I'm pretty sure we're okay here. This is going to be
Because
close
remember,
enough
we were
that at a
talking
soft
about-
tap.
We found some hands
Yeah,
that I
so
should have been raising, and I was just folding.
Here's
I
30
thought
from the
maybe
low
that was
jack,
one of them.
and here's 40. Yeah, king 10 is soundly in.
Right.
Like 40 bigs. Like this is where we kind of the next tier beyond the EP. This is like the MP.
Mm.
Where just like all of the Broadways are basically going to be opens, like pretty much through here. Like, yeah, I mean, almost all the way through, you can at least make a partial open with all your Broadways from middle position. So, let me just take it down.
Easy takedown.
Yeah, I'm fine with this with his SPR, just getting rid of the 4-7.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Hello.
I think I'm fine with this sizing. Normally we size up our really premium hands, but this is a really dry board.
Right. I'm fine with checking it back.
Yeah, I don't hate a check back there either.
I'm wondering what GTO says there. If it says for us to check it back on the
yeah, I don't know. I can't wait till we get that GTO trainer deal and I can start looking those spots up.
I was thinking about that too. I was thinking
so like
that
again,
too.
like here's a spot. We get called in 2 spots. We put a really small c-bet out. Print money.
I love the 10 jack suited. It's just so pretty to me. It's like they're aces. Jack 10 suited is aces to me. Every time I see it, I'm like, raise.
Well, it's like in a
Oh, here we
cash game,
go.
I'd rather have Jack 10 suited than aces.
Right. So this is. I love the four bigs that you raise pre-flop
Yeah, just ISOing on him.
because you get ISO plus you get paid off. You know.
So this is a little bit of a missed spot. We need to lead here. This is like an 8 under board. We should just be putting a lead in and putting pressure on and not checking it through. And then, yeah, we just cost ourselves a little spot there. But yeah, I'm not seeing massive mistakes. I'm seeing some small mistakes from just multi-tabling. Let's check this spot. This is button cutoff, hijack, low jack, MP2. Sorry, MP2. This is EP.
Fold.
30 big blinds effective. Yeah, this will be an interesting one.
I definitely want to see this one because this is another one that I fold.
We are cut off.
under the gun.
30 effective versus EP. So this is actually not only a flat, it's a partial rip. 3-bet.
Wow.
So what's up, BG? I think part of the reason for this is because as we get shallower, we can realize our equity easier. Like when again, like it's the same concept. When we flop top pair, it's easier to stack off. Like if we go 100 bigs versus EP, this is going to get tighter. Yeah, like king queen's only a partial peel, partial 3-bet when we get really deep. But when we get like shallower here, like this becomes more and more easy to peel. So if I go like 50 versus EP, you can see it's kind of like this crescent again, this kind of early position open, right? Like same to that. 40 versus EP,
so
same to that.
Calling that.
And then when we get when we get down to 30, like it, yeah. A lot of these peels, though, again, a lot of these peels are similar to our early position opening range. So again, this is kind of another spot. What you open from versus early position and what you peel versus early position are very similar. And that kind of makes sense, right? Like we don't, if we expect a perfect villain to open 18% of hands from early position, we don't want to be peeling with 25, right? Like theory wise, we want to be peeling with about the same amount or slightly smaller. And our peel / 3-bet combined range, our VPIP range should be around slightly tighter to what our opponents is.
I'm not playing this. Yeah, but I'm not.
Oh, nice,
BG.
BG.
Off early position.
You're not opening king queen off from early position?
In early position, no.
Oh yeah, this is a fist
not.
pump open. I get from a cash
Really?
perspective, like why you might not want to, but like in tournaments, yeah, you need to be opening king queen. And here's the thing. This is something I saw, and
Suited
I
am,
I
but
don't remember where I saw this, so I can't pull it up. But there was a chart I saw. It might have been on Raise Your Edge, but it talked about like the EV of like EP opens in like big blinds. And like there were hands at the bottom of the range that were like slightly negative opens. And it was like let's just say like King Jack for an early position open, right? King Jack offsuit opening from early position might be minus 0.4 big blinds per 100. And you'd ask yourself, why the hell would I open King Jack off from under the from under the gun if it's losing 4/10 of a big blind every time I open it? And the reason is by opening King Jack offsuit from early position, your aces actually gain like another 3 to 4 big blinds per 100.
mm-hmm.
And so even though you're losing 4/10 by opening King Jack in that situation in and of itself, your aces gain 3 to 4 bigs. And so the net gain by opening King Jack offsuit is like 3.6 big blinds over your range. Because if you're not opening some of these hands like King Queen off, sometimes King Jack off, Ace Jack off, like in those spots in the early position, your early position range gets so tight that opponents get to look and say, oh, that's a super value linear range. He's nutted. And then they start to fold out like the top of the range and you don't get value. So it's not that King Queen offsuit is super profitable. It's that opening King Queen offsuit opens your range enough that like when you get aces and kings, like people don't necessarily give you as much credit for it, and you're going to get paid more with your premium hands.
But yeah, no, I mean that should be common. I realize that.
So like I wouldn't say go start
wanna
opening King Queen
see-
offsuit from early position in your cash games, but like in tournaments, you definitely need to be opening King Queen off from early position.
Okay.
That needs to be a slam dunk open for you.
So this is what this has been a good stream today because I have added at least 2 hands.
Yeah.
King Queen off and King 10 off. Well, and King Jack off. Does King Jack off open under the gun?
Yeah. Yep. It's a partial
Um,
frequency, so like that's like where like if the table's really soft.
Did you call a raise right here? With
No,
Jack
this
Queen
was
off?
just a defend, and I honestly
Right.
this shouldn't be a defend. This should be a fold.
Oh, you defended all the way to the
Wow, I
river.
must not have liked this guy. Jeez, yeah, I don't like that. That's a big mistake.
Well, it looked like you had a good read.
Rip
you know,
here and
they
get
had
wrecked.
You called the rip.
All right, and now we're just like short stacked from here. So I'm gonna pull over the
Yeah.
Iggy one real quick and look at that. So it looks like there's a couple things I'm seeing. There's some small mistakes. I'm not seeing like leaks
Well,
in
you
my
just got-
ranges or like.
The last 3 hands you just called off against bigger hands.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think
wrecked
that
you.
I think that the structure is moving a little bit faster. Like I think I'm benefiting from the ACR structures a little bit because their structures are slower and we get more play. So I might have to be a little bit more aggressive on these. Oh geez, come on now. I might have to be a little bit more aggressive on these BOL and Iggy tables because we just don't get as much play. And so if I'm just like playing super, I'm not accumulating enough. I might have to open up a little bit more.
We had plenty of bigs until those last 3 hands you just zoomed through where it looked like
Well,
you just
the
called off
blinds went up
against-
and like we ended up like down at like 27, 25 bigs. And then, yeah, we had that one bad play in the big blind. And then we had a no-brainer 3-bet spot where we ran into a cooler. And then, yeah, it just kind of fizzled from there. Let's save layout. Okay, so this was an Iggy $33 5K. So this is mid stakes. Take that down. This is hilarious. So yeah, like even though raise, click back, 4-bet, but we're 500
then-
big blinds deep. Like
Whoa.
I'm set mining here
Yeah.
all day.
Right. And then just fold.
Yeah, and then just get wrecked. Yeah, again, like 500. We can't really look up these peels, but We're 500 big
fold.
blinds deep.
Yeah, I fold that ace five.
I like 500 big blinds deep. There's probably not a lot of aces I'm folding. I think theory wise, this is actually a fist pump fold because the deeper stacked you are, the tighter you need to be. But given how bad the players are in Ignition, like I'm happy, you know, flopping top 2 pair here and getting it in against ace 7 for 500 bigs. So I'm gonna deviate from theory a decent amount. Oh, this should be an open. It's close. So what are you doing
Okay,
here?
let's see. Whew. So it's 200.
We can't look up this
whatever.
exact spot, but I can look up the 100 big blind spot and see what it says. Because this is kind of weird. Like this is
yeah, I'm okay. In cash, I'm raising.
EP
I'm not-
and cutoff.
I'm not calling. I'm probably raising.
So this is pretty linear. Which makes sense. When we're really deep, we're going to be more linear. It's got a few bluffs like down here just for board coverage so that, you know, when the flop comes 6, 7, 8, our opponent can't go, oh, I know you don't have 6, 7, or 8 here and pummel you with range advantage. But like it's mostly linear up here. Ace Jack suited is mixed frequency.
I mean, I'm raising because we are out of position against 2 players and we've got ace jack suited. I mean, the 3 bigs is definitely a show of strength, but we're also playing against. You said this was a 33.
It's like a $33 5K, but it's not like
Right.
a 33 on Ignition is not like a 33 on ACR. Like this is still a really soft field. And a lot of bad players.
You know,
so
I like raising, but if you just call here, I think that's fine too. But I like raising in the cash.
if
game,
I was
so
raising here, I'd want to go really big. Like I'd go like
it just gives me
20 bigs.
Well, if I'm oh wow, that's a lot.
Well, because if I get 4-bet, I'm never calling, right? Like this is not
Right.
a spot where I'm like 4-bet and calling. So I want to build a big pot here. We do have a decently value-ish hand. And I'm kind of deterring like calls from like pocket 7s and 6s. Like those hands will fold out.
Well, we can if we raise here, we fold out one of these players, and if we're up against a hand like ace king or something, and they don't shove over the top of us, and we see a flop, and we can beat ace queen and ace king and
Right.
pocket 8s. You know what I mean? We're not just relying on the flop. I just hate relying on the flop.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of times.
I agree.
I like how you fold the ace 3 there. I don't like how you limped with the ace 4 there.
Yeah, this is kind of like, yeah.
You can't be set mining every hand. Although it didn't look too bad. King 9 gets you. That's what happens when you limp it, I guess.
Yeah, it was too passive. See if that continues. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is like, what the hell? We have a limp and then a min click and then a flat. I don't know. Good luck running a sim on this spot.
Okay, so
and we're in the small blind.
My rule of thumb here is if you're not really sure what to do with king jack offsuit, I would just fold it or raise. That's my problem is I'll get to these spots and I'm like, this is a slam dunk fold. And then it gets to me and I'm like,
Well, so if we look up,
if I raise right here, but
if we look a spot up like as an overcall, though, I'm pretty sure this is going to be in the flatting.
Range trainer says to call, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I mean, I'm not even sure which, because there's literally 3 people in this hand.
I think we looked this up one day and it said call.
No, this is actually a fold. This is actually pretty tight.
So I'm right for once. I hate this hand. And now you get in a spot where you can't fold.
Yeah, and I have to call here, right? Like we're drawing to the nuts in a 4-way pot. Like, sucks. Oh,
And
we hit it. What do you think about this check?
I mean,
are you checking here? Like with 3 to act?
I think everybody checks through. I don't know. I love to check raise. It's probably my favorite thing ever. But don't you have to check here? Don't you check 100% of your range here? Because
I don't know what hands behind me here bet, because like this is such a weird pot. How often are we in a spot where under the gun limps, the guy next to him goes from one big blind to 2 big blinds, then another guy flats, then we flat, then the small blind peels.
This
like
is such a crazy hand.
I can't even like wrap my head around their ranges. Like I mean, if I'm heads up, I'm betting this all day long, because I want
check it.
I want Queen X and 10X to call. But like, yeah, like, I mean, these guys can have some ace X, but I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, cool. So we got a 25 big blind bet.
Perfect.
And then we rip. And we get called.
And they call.
And he has the same hand.
Of course, they have the same hand. Look how, wow.
Yeah.
They were so good on the turn. It was so crazy. That was a crazy hand. It's pretty good.
Karen, you didn't watch this yesterday on YouTube. We're live. Yeah, 3-bet. We're fold. RNG hell. No, RNG hell. You didn't see this yesterday, Frank. But this was the sign that yesterday's stream session was going to be bad. Like my very first tournament, we got in the money. I got pocket kings, and the flop came king, queen, jack. And guy goes all in. We call. He has king, jack. So it's top set against top 2 pair, or top pair, bottom pair, and he goes runner for flush.
Oh my god.
It didn't get any better. Whoa, did we? Yeah, that's a fold. We've checked that spot a couple times now. Ace 8 is the shelf. Ace 8 is the shelf. This should be a call, though, right?
No, that should. Okay, the eight.
Hi, Miss Kristen.
6 of hearts.
Yeah, Karen, there's another one. There's a couple of them. Yeah, so 3-betting here I don't think is bad as an exploit. I don't think it's going to be a 3-bet in the theory range, but I can get behind it as long as he's 40 big blinds deep. When he gets to 30 big blinds deep, we need to be very careful.
I would love to see this. I would love to
because
see this.
Because once he gets to 30 big blinds deep, he's got a pretty easy 4-bet shove. That's one of those Ranger Edge concepts. Like at 30 bigs, like he can just, it's the perfect stack depth. But this is a 40 big blinds is that really awkward stack depth where if you 3-bet to 6, he doesn't feel comfortable shoving 40 and he doesn't feel comfortable flatting 4 out of position.
Yeah, but if we're okay, it's definitely a mistake for us to not be 3-betting enough on the button against cutoff. Our 3-bet versus cutoff should be like huge.
So our 3-bet's going to be about 9%. And again, this is theory.
Really?
So
9%?
This is theory.
Wow.
So I'm fine deviating from theory and being a little bit more aggressive. 9-7 suited is a 3-bet here. 50% of the time.
8-6 is not.
So 8-6. Well, 8-6 is neither. But again, this is theory. Like theory says we open 44% from the button when we're raised first in. Exploitatively, we're raising 56%. Like we're raising a lot higher than
But
that.
where does it say we 3-bet against the cutoff?
9-7 suited. So again, it's gonna be a lot of partial frequencies, but it's like 7s, 8s, 9-7 suited. GTO loves kind of some of these upper shelf like suited hands, like Queen 8 suited, Queen 9 suited, King 7 suited, because we're blocking a lot of their value range, like their King Queens, King Jacks, Queen Jacks, Queen 10s, a lot of that. And these hands are enough equity that we can 3-bet bluff, but not so much equity that if we get 4-bet, we're like, damn it, I 3-bet my Queen 8 suited, he 4-bet, now I have to fold Queen 8 suited, right?
So
whereas
yeah,
like King Jack suited,
if we're deeper stacked, then it'd be a profitable 3-bet, or
we can look. Yeah, so 50 bigs, 8-6 becomes a peel, 5-4 becomes a bluff, and then it prefers a lot of these King X suiteds over the suited gappers. And I think it's because these hands have better raw equity, but they don't hit straights, right? Like so, like 8-6 suited is a really good peel hand because you're going to hit a lot of flush draws, straight draws, backdoor flush draws, backdoor straight draws, combo draws. Whereas like these hands have a little bit more raw equity and blocker ability. Like 8-6 suited, the one challenge with like 3-betting 8-6 suited is that like you're not blocking a lot of his opening range. That's strong. Right. Like when you 3-bet King 7 suited, you're blocking a chunk of his 4-bet range. So if you're just comparing King 6 suited to 8-6 suited, it's there. Now again, against a bad player who is opening a lot but not 4-betting a proper range from the cutoff, 3-betting 8-6 suited is going to be profitable because they're just not going to 4-bet enough. So this is still going to be a profitable shove, but it would be more optimal. And as we get into the better stakes, we got to mix in more of this and less of this. And so you get this kind of like, I don't know what you want to call this, but this kind of like, and these are hands I, in the past, have not considered. I need to get better at mixing this stuff in. These suited kings show up a lot in theory, and they're really profitable 3-bets that I just like, I've just never thought about in the past. So I need to mix more of this in.
That's awesome. Right. I never call 8-6 suited right there. I'm always either raising or folding it. This is interesting. So we got middle pair.
And now we're sizing up.
Right.
And take it down.
I see it.
Yeah. I don't feel like defending that. All right, so we defend here, top pair. We're supposed to check raise. It checks around, and this guy bets on the 4 card, and we're just out of the way. Yeah, that's fine.
Rip.
Thank you. What was that? That was a
hold on. We got 100 bigs, and in the very next hand we've got how many playing? Okay, that's fine. So now we've got 100 bigs, and then I saw something weird.
Bet, call, check, and realize, and I would have bet that ace. So thank you for betting it for us and letting us get out for cheap. Not sure why I didn't c-bet this. This is a fist pump c-bet. Now we just have to get out of the way. So that was a little missed spot. So a couple of little missed c-bets and stuff. Yeah, that's fine.
Right. I'm gonna up my c-bet in a 3-way pot.
Yeah, you really should. Until we get to the bigger stakes. Get the aces. This is one of my favorite plays in this is one of my favorite spots in online poker at low and mid stakes, because I see this a lot, and this is the same thing every time. This is oh, there's a raise. I've got a small to middle pocket pair. I want to see a flop and set mine.
Mhm.
Oh, there's a 3-bet. Well, I can't set mine with 6s now. I'll just go all in, right? Like this happens live. This happens online a ton. And like it's almost always a weak pocket pair that doesn't want to play post flop. And so I say that and it's queen 10 offsuit. Like this is a $33 buy-in tournament, people, that like people are making these kind of like what are you doing? And that's why we're supposed to play on these sites, because like God, it's just it's terrible.
It makes me want to play tighter.
Tighter? Why? When guys are gonna like stack off to you like that? All right, so here's an interesting spot. What are you doing here?
I mean, I'm not calling. I'm raising.
How big?
10 bigs.
I went a little bit smaller, but I like 10. I can get behind 10. We have a value hand. I don't even think he thought. I don't think it got to that stage of the brain. Yeah, with his SPR, I'm fine limping. I should be stabbing this though. We have a lot of backdoors, so that's a little. Yeah, I shouldn't be checking this down. Definitely bet this flop, right? Like we can have a 6, a 5, a jack, a 10, a 9, and 8 are all good cards for us, and he's just gonna overfold. I can't mark him because it's ignition. Yeah. So I assume you're just like, well, what are you? This is an interesting spot. What are you doing here? Because these guys are like, their SPR is so shallow. They got 20 bigs and 16 bigs.
I mean,
if you go 5x here and they jam, like, ew.
I'm calling.
Yeah, but it's just
if I raise and they jam, I'm calling. So I mean, because here's the thing. I mean, we're limping to set mine against a 16 big blind stack. Might as well raise.
So the big blind has 90, right? I'm just trying to figure out, like,
I guess we're just limping to like just see if we hit a 5.
Well, because we're gonna have a guaranteed set mine with the big blind. That's the only reason. Like, I think if honestly, I think let's say the big blind has 15 bigs here, I just jam.
Right.
I don't want under the original limper, like being able to like 4-bet squeeze jack 9 suited here. That's just not, like, I'd rather just shove him out of the pot, right? So I think with the big blind having like really a really big stack here, I kind of prefer this because he can't fold, so we get a chance to set mine against him. But yeah, if everybody was 20 effective, I'm just ripping this all day long. And then this is just hilarious. Like,
call flop.
It's one big blind.
All right.
You can see how bad these guys are, which is why I'm frustrated that we haven't like ripped off like 5 final tables for like big scores yet. So this is interesting. Open, flat. We get a chunky donk lead. And the SPR is a little awkward. Looking at this now, I don't know what I did.
What's he? I mean, flush draw. I mean,
yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna raise. I like right here. I'm not getting it in, but I'm gonna raise fold. I think. I don't think I want to get it in here.
I feel like they want to get it in.
Yeah, that's a possibility. The problem with getting it in is, what's the worst hand you're getting it in against? I feel like the worst hand you're getting it in against is a hand like ace 10 suited.
No, I'm saying they want to get it in.
No, I know. I'm talking about. Sorry, yeah. Grandpa's do it better said in chat. Like he's getting it in. Like if like.
Oh.
Like if we raise and they rip, like we're hoping they turn over like ace 10 suited, maybe 5-6 suited. Like and all those hands we're gonna have marginal. Like yeah, like
mathematically, ace 10 suited has a speed. Right.
We don't have great equity, so like I don't know about raising and then calling off. I think I prefer going like 9 bigs here and folding to a jam.
Right.
I don't like peeling per se, though we are in position. I really don't like this peel on the turn. I definitely should be raising this turn. And then this is kind of hilarious. Like once we get to here, like, yeah. God, look how passively he played that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, I mean, just by calling, you get paid. Like if you're raising and then the river blanks, they're not putting another, they're not betting towards you. They're not donking. Ooh, what?
Oh, he limped and we just jammed 20 effective.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So basically your 9-8 in that spot was just a bluff catcher.
Yeah. Set binding here and then get out of the way.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I feel like this should be a raise.
I mean,
this is a perfect raise fold spot. Well, this is definitely an open from the. This is definitely an open from the cutoff. King 5 offsuit is the bottom of our opening range from the cutoff. We're looking to open like 40 to 45% of hands here. So this is a fist pump open. I know it feels weird, but like again, like we looked at. I think I showed you this. I'll pull it up again in case I didn't. Somebody else might not have seen it. If I look at, let me go up to my ACR stats, and we're gonna do quick filter RFI. So these are spots where we raise first in. Look at what we're making from the cutoff when we're the first raise in. 166 all in adjusted big blinds per 100. Like we're printing money. So we can comfortably open like 45% of hands here and just print money. So even though this hand doesn't play well post flop, just because of, again, people not defending their blinds enough and then people overfolding flops, we just print money. So you want to get that RFI up to about 40-45% from the cutoff and 55% from the button, because these are just spots that just inflate your win rate. But I don't like a flat here. I think we have to raise or fold. And it's not that raising here is going to necessarily get him to fold. If he has a hand like Queen Jack of clubs, Jack 10 of clubs, Ace 5 offsuit, none of those hands are folding. But when we raise here, it's like, this is what you talked about earlier. When we raise here, he's going to check turn. And we're going to get to see all 5 cards and realize our equity. Versus like facing barrels. And then, yeah, like, it would have just been cheaper to raise. So that's a small mistake. Ace 10. This is... Oh, yeah, it was an all-in. So, yeah, run it.
That is another hand that I don't play under the gun. Ace 10
It's
off.
close. As we get shallower, this is like right on the fringe. Some people open it, some people don't. It's totally fine both ways. I've heard people say, coaches say it's totally fine both ways. This is a fringe open. Again, the softer the field, the more you should be opening it.
When people come to me and they're losing and they want to become winning, the first thing I tell them to do is fold the Ace 10 off under the gun, Ace Jack off under the gun. I guess deep stack, those hands just kill you deep stacked. Short stack might be different.
Well, again, it's just like that king queen hand. You're not going to make a lot of money raising Ace 10 off under the gun, but it makes your aces and kings and queens make a lot more money. What the hell? How am I not c-betting this?
What I'm wondering is why you min raised it.
2 reasons. One, we're getting shallower here, so we don't need to like be raising big to build pots. And the other thing is we have a 7 big blind stack on the button that we want to think that they can have some fold equity here. If we go 2.5 or 3x, we're basically saying we're never folding. And I know we're probably never folding, but he might look at this and go, oh, I can jam on him here, right? So we're trying to get that guy to jam on us, but this is a monotone board. Theory, Pio, GTO, whatever you want to call it, almost always bets monotone boards. Every monotone board we should be betting. This is just a fist pump bet, and I just didn't do it. That's fine. Yeah, like, again, I get it. He's got 13 bigs. He's got range advantage. So maybe there's an argument to checking back here because we can spike a diamond on the turn and then be able to call one. So this is kind of close for me. But again, at these stakes, even then, like, I still think like we could go 1 big here and set our price. We have to bet now. What the hell? This doesn't even make sense. What the hell are you checking flop, not probing turn, and then check raising on the turn here?
Queen 9.
We're gonna find out.
I know. I want to see what they had.
9-7. That's like, yeah, like.
What? No, that's exactly what we thought he had. I mean, you're checking. You want to know what they're checking and betting on the turn.
But he should lead 9-7 on the turn. Why is he checking the turn with 9-7? He's so vulnerable. I don't understand. Like, don't you want to get value on your hands?
He just wants to go for the check raise. I mean,
and then he mins it like ship it in. Like, he shoves, we just have to fold, right? Like, when he mins here, it's like, well, I'm gonna see it. Like, for 3 big blinds, I have to call.
No, we're not folding if he ships right there.
I am. There's no way I'm calling if he jams.
4 more big blinds, and
if he goes 13 here, I guess we could run it.
Oh, if he open jams, I thought you meant if he check raised to.
No, like, if we go 3 and he goes all in here for 13, and it's 10.32 to call, are you calling? I guess I'd have to run the equities.
I mean, what's he going all in with? I mean, we know he's got 9-7, but
it would be 10 to win 21. So we would need about 30% equity, 32% equity, which means our ace or king would have to be live. So it's really close.
And we don't think the ace or king is live.
Probably not. So I think it's a slight losing play if he jams. When he goes 3x here, it's a fist pump call. And then, yeah, he just gets wrecked for using terrible sizing. So, yep, this is a happy price.
Actually, we end up playing it perfect by not c-betting the flop. We c-bet the flop, he jams.
My friend Geek coming in strong. Yeah, this is a defend, and yeah, we just get out of the way. Still don't know why my button RFI is so low. I haven't seen any spots on the button that it could just be variance.
I really think you're defending too much.
What, that 9-7?
The 9-7 off.
Let's look it up. This is so generally the rule of thumb's been like, can you make like not suited connectors, offsuit connectors and offsuit gappers? Offsuit gappers generally are defends even against EP, but let's look. This one might not be. You might be right. This is 30 effective. This is button cutoff, hijack, low jack. This is MP versus big blind. 30 effective.
I mean, I used to be one of these guys that never folded big blind, but then I tightened up some.
So yeah, this is in here.
Yeah.
Now if he's EP, yeah, even like, and so again, like when we get down to like 30 big blinds,
Oh, it's a huge.
it's huge because we can, again, like when we hit pairs, we can just go with it, right? When we start going to like you'll see 40 gets a little bit tighter, 50 gets a little bit tighter, 60 gets a little bit tighter. It's like when we get deeper stacked. And that's probably why your instincts are like it's too much. Is because you play deep stacked. So like you're not in very many situations where this 9-7 is going to be a defend. But like when we start to get shorter stacked,
we need to be.
Yeah, we need to be, because it's just the same thing. Like in this spot, if we're 200 big blinds deep and we flop 9-6-5 pair and a straight draw, we don't want to play a 200 big blind pot with a pair and a straight draw, right? You flop 9-6-5 here, 25 big blinds deep, YOLO, you know, good luck. Like let's run them. Like we've got enough equity at that point.
What mistakes are we making here in these tournaments that we've looked at today?
There's been a little bit of passiveness, a little bit of not c-betting, a little bit of not raising in a few spots, but I'm not seeing like glaring leak. I think the first thing I want to ask Ryan is, like, because the structure's faster, if there's adjustments we should be making. So it'll be an interesting conversation to see kind of what he says. But yeah, like I'm not seeing like, you know, I'm opening ace-3 offsuit under the gun, or I'm never check raise. I'm not seeing those kinds of things. I haven't been super embarrassed yet. I was expecting to like have a few spots where I was like, wow, I did not mean to do that. Like it hasn't. Like actually, this is a perfect spot. Like this is a spot like we raise. I should be c-betting here. There's been a few of these. In fact, actually, I shouldn't even be c-betting here. I should just be jamming. This would just be a jam.
Yeah.
We got overs and a gut shot. We got a pot size shove left. Just get this in.
I think you should jam pre-flop.
What? No. Why do you want to jam pre-flop?
Behind you, there's only one person behind you with more than 10 big blinds. Look who's behind you. There's one person with 39 bigs, and they're only calling you with.
I guess I can get behind that. This is kind of a unique situation. Fair point. Yeah, like what the hell is this? This is just a missed spot. This is just a fist pump shove. So a few missed spots. And, you know, stuff like that. When you get aces and you can't get called.
And nobody calls. But I bet you can get called with that king 9 suited.
What the hell happened? Wait, what is...
Okay. Go. Did you just jam? Wait,
this hand is this hand is borked. This hand is borked. I don't know what's going on here. PT4 has screwed this up because it's got one big blind here. Right. I think it's because this guy's in for less than a big blind. It doesn't know how to display it. So it's got this guy has one big blind, and it's got the big blind is 12 big blinds. So we are 15 big blinds deep here. I don't want to turn off big blinds. I mean, I can for this hand specifically, but I don't want to do it in general. We want to look at things in big blinds. But yeah, like, yeah, so.
Okay, yeah. So what?
Oh, wow. So we didn't jam. All right, so we opened up 15 bigs. See, why am I? The C-bet is the biggest problem right now.
How many bigs did you have? I didn't see. You've got like
15.
What? Yeah, that's a shove, right?
It can be. So here's the
Perfect-
thing.
I think perfect poker says you shove there.
You can shove, but this is the thing I'm gonna keep trying to beat into, like, not trying to beat in your head, but this is the thing I want to like keep pummeling, is even down to 6 big blinds. You can shove profitably in these spots, but against weaker players, you can raise more profitably. And the reason you can raise
Okay.
more profitably is because when we shove,
You're folding out better. I mean, worse
well,
hands,
your
you're folding out
opponents,
worse hands.
when we shove, we can't lose money here, right? We can't. We lock in equity, but our opponent's mistakes are going to be small mistakes, right? Like, the biggest mistakes our opponents are going to make here is they're going to fold hands they should be calling, like Queen Jack suited. Like, he should be snapping off here with Queen Jack suited. He's probably going to fold Queen Jack suited. So we're going to make a little money there in that they're not defending enough and we're winning the big blinds. Or really bad players, you might make money because they make a really bad call here with like King 8 suited or something. But most of the money you're making here is very small mistakes. When we raise and call, we not only make more money because there's a bigger pot and more chips to win, but our opponents get to make mistakes flop, turn, and river, right? So we raise here and he calls and he has, let's just say this was a Queen 7-5 flop and he has Ace 10. We bet he folds even though he should be peeling one, right? And so we get to make money there. Or like here, if I had bet like I should have, he might call here with like 5-6 offsuit and we get to make money there. Like, we get to make more mistakes. And this is actually like something that I've been doing more of lately. Like, let's say we have 6 big blinds here or 5 big blinds. If we just shove 5 bigs here, we're getting called by everything, right? But imagine we had 5 bigs here and we limp. Against weak opponents, they're just going to see a flop.
Mhm.
And then we bet flop and they fold like 2/3 of the time. And so we take a spot where we have no fold equity and we turn it into a fold equity spot. Because people are so passive. So, like, shoving is definitely profitable. And again, if Ape Styles is in the big blind, I shove this all day long. But against a random or a weak opponent or someone we have tagged as a recreational player, we're going to make more money by opening and outplaying these guys post flop because they overfold and they overcall. And,
Okay.
and this is where we have to wrap our head around the fact. Yes, opponents can both overfold and overcall. Because they're overfolding in spots where they should be floating with like ace highs and backdoors and stuff. And they're overcalling in spots where they have second and third pair and they're treating it like they have 2 pair or a flush. This should only be a check back against good players. It should never be a check back against a weak player. Yeah, because like the small blind's literally only in for 1/10 of a big blind, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, we're not worried about the small. All right.
And I'm not
well,
worried about the table seeing what we're doing either, because they're not adjusting to it. Like the theory is just we're not seeing opponents adjust enough to the mistakes we're doing. That sounded like a Frank Mayo sound off.
What?
Yeah, I heard. All right, well.
No, I'm just like tired of this. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
No, I've just got to adjust. I've got to adjust because this is I like what you're saying.
It's weird to get your head wrapped around,
Because
right?
Right, because I normally shove the button here.
Here's
And,
how I think about
just-
it, Frank. You're the best player at the table, right?
Right.
And you're way better than these guys, right?
So might as well see flops with them.
Yeah, let's let like it's like, I mean, dude, you're like a jiu-jitsu like flop master. You have all of these sexy moves and you have reads and you are like a baller. You shove, it's just like
the another thing that you're not mentioning is that if we min raise there and then pocket deuces shoves on us and we call and we hit a king, you know what I mean?
well, and that's the other thing is like with a hand like this, if we open and big blind jams, we're probably not
Mhm.
doing well, right? So all the hands that we jam and he calls that beats us, we get to fold out to exploitatively because they're not shoving a proper range. So we just get to raise fold and feel good about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you'll find like because you're just gonna outplay the hell out of people on the flop. I got about 10 minutes that I gotta duck out here. This has been good though.
Yeah. No, I need to duck out too, but this has been really good for me. I don't know if it's been good for anyone else that's watching, but it's been really good for me. Queen 10 fold, ace jack.
And yeah, he's just got 3 bigs
Wow,
left.
that's a great flop.
This is close, right? Honestly,
So I think, I mean, please look this up because
I can't.
Oh,
There's nothing in there that runs like 5 big like.
oh, I've got something. Give
Like
me just one
because
second.
I mean I can stove it, but you have to give him a proper range. Like the problem is like what are you putting his
No.
range at?
Just give me 1 second. Let's look this up and then I'll get off here.
All right.
I want to, because this is something we need to know. Something I want to know.
A7.
Almost there. There. Oh. Wow, I cannot wait till I get my new computer. It'll be so good.
I guess you could run it through ICMizer as a chip EV spot. See, I think I'm just trying to. I'm trying to think of like population tendency.
No,
like,
I promise you, this is gonna tell us.
I feel like population is gonna be like all aces, king 9, all pocket pairs.
This is definitely a shove chart.
I don't know why queen 3 is here.
How many bigs do we have?
This is 5.5 effective. So basically like 5 or 6.
So how many bigs do we have though? It's definitely
it doesn't matter what we have.
Well, it's 100% a call then. Let's say we have.
Yeah, we're going to have like 45, 46% equity, and we only need 36, so. Did I have queen 3 suited again? Why does this keep getting stuck? I'm not sure what's going on. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't change it much, though.
Let's say we have 6 bigs. Yeah, this is a call.
Yeah.
This is profiting. Nash says it's plus 1.23.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what this says. I mean, and that's saying that we're 6 bigs effective. But like I don't know. Let's see. ICMizer. Wow, there's a lot of stuff that you got to put in ICMizer here.
Yeah, we don't have to mess with that today.
Yeah. But I mean, this is definitely something worth looking at. I mean, these are the kind of spots where, it's 6 bigs and we've already got 1 big in, so it's 5 more. So if we call off right here, then we're down. We're from 25.7 to 25.
Here's the ICM button. I didn't even think about we could just hit the ICM button here.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Yeah, we push it in. Yeah. Easy peasy. It says a call. It says push.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
So we looked it up there. We looked it up on the charts that I got. And it says, so I feel good about it.
It's a fist pump. All right, Frank. Thank you so much. This is always a fun time going through stuff with you, and
I could do this every day. I honestly, I could do it every day because I'm, man, I am, whew, I'm not kidding. Like I've been probably studying too much lately. Um, just I'm so hell bent on playing high stakes tournaments. Like that's the
Well,
goal.
before
That's the
we
goal. I mean, the journey is the goal, of course. All right.
don't
So
swim.
that's what I was, you know what I mean? The journey is the goal.
Before
But
we head out though, I want you to pimp your stream out Sunday. What do you got going on Sunday?
oh man, I'm just playing Sunday. I'm just streaming. I'm gonna stream, and anybody that wants to come watch will get to see the mistakes that I make. I'm this is like this is my journey too. It's your journey. It's my journey. I just want to get better every day that I can, and I've gotten rid of this some of the stuff that has has been a time waster.
Yeah.
You know, uh, I'm not really trying to pimp my stream. I'm just it just helps me to stream. It's gonna
No,
help
but
me
people are enjoying
stream.
watching you, so I just wanted to give you a little shout out there and have some people come check things out, man. Like,
Yeah, real Frank Mayo. You type that in anywhere you go, you're gonna find me. I've Instagram. I hate Instagram, but anywhere else you type in real Frank Mayo, you'll get me. And Twitch and Twitter, I'll be on there. And I'm one to go Sunday. Want to go? I would really like to go Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, starting out as stream wise. But as far as us doing this, going over tournaments, man, I could do this any day that you want to do it. I could do it. I mean, because I learn, I'm just soaking this stuff in, man.
yeah.
I'm soaking it in.
Well, we'll
And
definitely be doing some more. We'll do some on stream. We'll do some in the boot camp, exclamation boot camp. If you guys are really looking on digging on your game and growing, guys can check that out. But any final words, Frank, before we send it on?
I just, yeah, the final words are that if you're a part of this, if you're viewing this, you're watching this, you're gonna get something out of it. I mean, because I do. I mean, and I've been playing for God, 18 years, and I'm getting stuff out of it. So just seeing this stuff, if you can watch one of our streams where we are going over a tournament and you take one little thing from it, it's definitely worth your time. And I would say that anybody that comes in here and watches it, and if they have input, I'm all about it. I'm all about input. Like somebody in your stream the other day was saying what their opinion was on blind versus blind play, and I've studied a lot of blind versus blind play, and they had something different to say. And the person said, "Hey, I'm just a recreational nobody," and I said, "I don't care if you recreational nobody or top pro. I like to listen to what people have to say, and
Right.
it definitely it it helps my game, it helps other people's game, and you know, your friends are my friends, you know, your followers are my followers. I just we're getting better, you're getting better, I'm getting better. I'm probably getting more out of this than you are, um,
No,
just because,
we're both getting a ton out of this.
but I'm getting a ton from it. So, like I said, I could do this every day. Any day you want to do it, let's do it. And my goal is just to get better as much as possible. And I'm definitely playing more tournaments. Like I said, I'm definitely 3 days a week playing more tournaments. I play cash every day. Um, even on days that I tell myself I'm not gonna play, I end up playing.
Yeah.
So um, cash is like second nature to me. You know, like I wasn't going to play anything yesterday, and I ended up playing Blitz on ACR, which I'm addicted to. But anyway, thank you for having me.
All right, we'll
I
keep doing
can't
it.
thank you enough.
Nah, man, we're both
Cool.
getting out of this. You don't have to thank me. So cool. All right, I'm gonna send it on to Grips. You guys at the final table, you lost in 4th. I think you're talking about the Ace Queen suited hand, maybe Scalera. I don't remember the Ace King hand. I'll have to go back and look. I'll see if I can find it. I gotta run through my hands before I talk to Ryan today anyway. So I'll see if I can track that down before the next one. Oh, Not Global Live coming in with the sub right as we're walking out the door. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're feeling better from
I love that name.
the COVID hype. I hope that is
That's such a
all
cool name.
done and past you. You opened He Jam 6s. You called. Yeah, I'll have to go look. I'll have to find it, Ziscalera. I'll take a look for it later today. We're going to send the raid on to Grip. Sorry to hit and run here, but I got to hop into a meeting. Frank's got to run too. But I'm sure you guys will
Everybody
see
have a
us
good
here
day.
in the next few days. Peace.
Peace. See ya.
Hit the raid button. We out.